Sit down and be humble. We've heard this before, and I'm not just talking about the song by Kendrick Lamar. Yes, we all know the song Humble was an incredible song, but I'm talking about the phrase sit down and be humble, some kind of variation of that. Someone's told you to do that before, and I know it's grinded your gears. Someone has told you to shut up and be humble. Someone has told you to pipe down and be humble. And what I'm here to talk about today is the fact that I hate humility. I do. I hate having to be humble because the way in which society has used humility has been weaponized. Yeah, this is going to be a good episode today. You already know what time it is. Buckle up, strap in, don't move anywhere because it's only 10 to 15 minutes of daily motivation. Grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite snack, and sit back and relax because today we're getting into it, the heart of humility. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the narrative of Niles Niseem. Let's get this show on the road. And we are back with another phenomenal episode of the narrative of Niles Niseem. I'm your host, Niles Niseem, and this is your weekly 10 to 15 minutes of motivation to help you get to the person and the place that you want to be in life. Today, we are talking about the heart of humility. Let's get straight into it because I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I can't stand having to be humble, and I can't stand the concept of humility. And you want to know why? Here's why. Ever since I was a kid, we've talked about this before, how I've been speaking on stages, how I've been performing all across the world, how God has given me opportunities to really do things that were exceptional. And I'm very grateful for those things because I grew up in the perfect storm to be another statistic, single parent household, low income family. I mean, I'm doing homework in the welfare lines. Like I struggle was my middle name. Struggle was a Tuesday for me. And it's not something that I brag about, but it's something that's the truth. And the fact of the matter is I'm so grateful that God was able to give me so many opportunities to travel to places like London and China and South Africa. And I promise you, I'll tell you all my stories about that soon on one of these episodes. But man, one of the worst feelings I would have after getting off stage, after speaking in front of thousands of people, after doing something great, after having a great performance, after going out there, working hard and putting in the work and having a great moment, somebody will tell me or remind me, remember to be humble. Remember, walk in humility. Niles, bring that down. You're being too cocky. Niles, you're being arrogant. And I got to be honest with you. I get it because maybe when I was younger, there might have been a time where I may have been coming off as arrogant. But if you know me, arrogance just isn't my thing. It's the farthest thing that I can see how someone can think I'm coming off cocky. But if you know me, I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I don't think that I am above anybody. But at a certain point, when someone puts in work, when someone does excellent quality work, or they have a resume that shows that they do what they need to do, or they have a talent or they have a skill and they're able to express it at a high level, when are they able to admire their own work? When are they able to admire their own work? I hate the way that society has tried to shape this mindset and frame this mindset that people who do great things have to wait for other people to tell them that they did great. No. You on the inside have to be the first person to tell yourself that you did great. You have to be your own number one fan. You have to be proud, number one, above all, of the work that you have done. And what happens is that humility has been so weaponized in society that it is used in a way to make people feel like they're doing too much when they have done so much good. And I'm just here to say that because there are people behind this camera who have probably struggled with ever being able to celebrate themselves because they've been told that to celebrate themselves is arrogance. That's not arrogance. That's false. That's wrong. That's not what that is. And we'll talk about the difference between confidence and arrogance. But right now, I want to release you of that burden because, yes, there are people who have tried to use the humility train against you. They've tried to use that humbleness as a smokescreen, but really, they're just hating. They are. You're not cocky, you're not arrogant, but sometimes people aren't going to tell you that they're hating. Sometimes people aren't going to say it in a nice way, but they're going to use good, virtuous things to try to make you feel down. And that's just a sick part of this world. And then guess what? Not everybody's hating. Some people are actually trying to teach you a positive lesson, and it's coming from a good place. But sometimes that's not what you need. Even if it's coming from a good place, sometimes it's the wrong time. So I want to free you of that today, because I want you to understand that humility is not supposed to be some weapon that is formed against you that won't allow you to celebrate yourself. You can celebrate yourself. In fact, it would be disrespectful of you not to celebrate yourself. Because when you don't celebrate yourself, when you don't look inwards, when you don't sit there and say, I'm proud of me for what I just done, it's a slap in God's face, because you're basically trashing on the gifts that he gave you. Celebrating yourself and celebrating your gifts is a way of showing gratitude and gratefulness. Now, here's the thing. Here's the line of demarcation. This is where people will cross from confidence to arrogance. Here's what confidence is. Confidence is the understanding and the ability to acknowledge who you are and the talent you have in God, in yourself, and that you are able to complete the task that was put in front of you. That is what confidence is. It's acknowledgement. It is acknowledgement. When I step in front of a mic, when I step in front of a camera, I am confident that I'm going to give whoever's in the audience an electrifying experience. Because I'm confident that I am electrifying. I'm confident that I am a good storyteller. I'm confident that I'm a good orator and a good communicator. I'm confident that I can sit there and give you 10 to 15 minutes of motivation every week and keep you locked in and engaged. I'm confident. You know why? Because I worked at it. This is the talent that God has blessed me with. And I worked to keep this talent and to hone this talent. The amount of hours I spent on stages, behind closed doors, getting ready, learning scripts, putting myself in performances, taking hits, being embarrassed publicly in front of thousands of people, the amount of things that I've done and the resume I have built to make sure that I am the man that I am today, I am confident in who I am, and I am confident in my abilities. And furthermore, I am confident in the one who gave me those abilities. And I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'm not. I'm not going to self-deprecate myself. I used to do that all the time. I don't believe in doing that anymore. Why? I don't need to self-deprecate myself to come off as humble and no. I'm done doing that. I'm done having to bring myself down so that I can bring others up. That's not what that does. That's the reverse of what it does. I'd rather be my true, authentic self that God called me to be, because if I am confident in that person, that will inspire other people. I cannot dim my light so that other people can feel safe and more secure. No, I have to turn my light up in me. I have to allow this flame that's been birthed in me to roar, so that it can be a beacon of hope and life for people around me, so that they can flock to me, so that I can give them some of this energy so that they can give it to somebody else. That's what that's supposed to be like. That's confidence. Now, arrogance. Take everything I just said and then add on the B clause of no one else can touch me. Everyone else is below me. I'm better than everybody else. My calling is greater than everybody else. I'm more important than everybody else. I'm special. There's never going to be someone that's going to touch the things that God has for me. Nah. There's never going to be someone that's ever going to come close to my realm of being able to do the speaking and communicating thing. That's when we talk about arrogance. You see, having confidence and acknowledging yourself is not being arrogant, but to dismiss other people and their work and to make them feel less than, that right there is arrogance. And that's what people don't understand. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I acknowledge all my talents, but you want to know the reason why I work? It's because I don't dismiss anyone else. I believe that there are other people who are just as good, if not better. No, in fact, I know there are people who are better than me as a speaker and as a performer. I know there are people that are more electrifying than I am. I know people that can keep your attention spans, this audience's attention spans, longer than I can. I'm doing 10 to 15 minutes. I know somebody that could probably sit in this microphone right now and talk for an hour and a half, and you're not changing the channel. And because of that, and because I understand that, is why I work in my craft. It's why there's so many mediums of storytelling that I work and I take and I do the small details on, and I work on myself because I'm trying to hone my craft so that one day I can be the best. I'm confident in my ability to do the job, but I'm confident that there are other people in the same field that are doing incredible things as well. And so I have to work. That is why I will not allow myself to get cocky. I will not allow myself to get arrogant. And see, what most people don't understand is that when you are truly pursuing greatness, when you are truly trying to be the best at what you do, humility is already built in. It's already built in. Because you're already your worst critic. You are already beating yourself up before anybody else could beat you up. You are already understanding that there were 10 things that you thought that you did wrong, and the audience probably didn't even know one. It's real. Humility is already built in. You yourself already are hanging your head low after you do a performance, or after you get done with a test, or after you feel like you are a fraud, or you feel like you're not enough, or you get a position or a title. And that's what I'm trying to do today. There's somebody behind here that has great potential, that has done great things, but they're not able to enjoy it because someone keeps throwing that humble pie in your face when you don't deserve it. What you need right now is that confidence. What you need right now is for someone to tell you that it is okay for you to pat yourself on the back. In fact, I'd rather you pat yourself on the back before anybody else does, because guess what? You cannot wait for other people to give you your flowers, because a lot of times they will never come. And what society has done is they've used humility to harm people. They've used humility to harm the spirits and the confidence in the minds of people. Because what they've told you is that you need other people to tell you what no, you don't need anybody else to tell you what you're worth. You need to understand that you are worth it, that you are called, you are chosen, you are special. You're here today, and you're here today for a reason. And there's nothing and no one that can take that from you. And let me be very honest, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing. When you wait for other people to praise you, you develop an uncomfortable relationship with praise. Because if you give people the power to praise you, you can give people the power to imprison you, to tear you down. Because if their praise means that much, how much do you think their criticism means? If you did so good in the hand claps mean that much to you, how much will it mean to you when they say you suck? And it's coming. Because nothing is universally alike. You can get up there and do whatever you want to do. You can absolutely kill it. And there will be one person in the audience that still thinks you did a terrible job. Now what? Because all your life you've been waiting for those hand claps, and what if they never came? But if you are the one that's giving yourself your own hand claps, when you wake up in the morning, my mom says, wake up in the morning, go in the mirror and give yourself a high five. If you're doing that in the morning and you're giving yourself a high five, yeah, those high fives to other people and the hand claps to other people and the acknowledgement that other people give you will mean something, but you won't be dependent on that. You won't be dependent on that. Because you have found the peace, the progress, the confidence in yourself. Let's have a healthy relationship with humility from now on. Let's not allow someone to rob us of our pride, and pride in the good sense, in our work, in our sacrifices, in our performances, in our resume. Let's not allow somebody to rob us with that under the guise of someone telling you to be humble. Now let's make this very clear too. Once you acknowledge how good you are, remember that there are people that are just as good as you, if not better, in your field. And even if they are not as good as you, they're coming for you. And they're still human beings nonetheless. So you have no right to sit there and try to dismiss or degrade. That's when you are arrogant, like I said, and that's when you should be struck down. But as long as you are simply acknowledging the gifts and the talents that God has given you, walk on, press on, and become humble proof. Stop letting these people shoot those humble bullets at you and let it poke holes in your whole system and your spirit. Stop letting that happen. Not today. From here on out, you will be proud of the things you do. And if anybody has a problem with that, tell them to take it up with your Creator. In fact, here's the homework for the week. As we end this episode, here's the homework for this week. I want you to take time, find a journal, write down the talents that you believe that you have. Write down the talents that you believe that God has given you, and write down the talents that you believe, not just write the talents down that you have, but also where you think they're going to take you. I also want you to write down your resume of all the positions, titles, performances, awards, of everything you got. And then what I want you to do is I want you to read both of those lists out loud. Then say, thank you, God, and look in that mirror and give yourself a high five. And after that, walk in confidence. And the next time someone tries to tell you to be humble and you already know that you are, smile, shake the hand, and keep moving. There's no need to stay in that circle. No need to stay in that conversation, because what you need after you do something great is for someone to pour life into you. Yeah. That's how we're ending this week. Ladies and gentlemen, the narrative of Niles Niseem. I love y'all. I'm going to see you next week. Do the homework, because I will be checking. Y'all stay safe. It's good seeing you.